Alright, so we just came down that canyon, got some pictures from the quad. This is a series of shafts, some shallow, some pretty deep. This is called the Gold Basin mine. And just down the hill from the Gold Basin mine is an old set of water troughs. And so you don't see these around anymore, but on the ranges out here in Nevada, when you have to have water sources for your cows, the thing they used to do was they would get near a spring and use that spring to move water into a holding tank. So there's an old holding tank over there, and then they had these troughs, and well, they're not much in use anymore, but they had to do a lot of reinforcing to keep the cows from tearing them down. So we're kind of out here in a meadow. We'll go over here. So we talked about the water trough over there. So now here's the modern water trough. Take a haul pack tire, cut the middle out of it, mud in the bottom, which can either be concrete or bentonite, but you get it to seal so it'll hold water. And nowadays, with the scarcity of water and climate change, you come out here and you have to bring a water truck. So the old days of the tank filling the water truck or the water trough, they could fill that tank or pump into the tank and then have a pipeline to fill the trough. Nowadays they got to bring a truck out here to do it. So there's our group over there taking a break, and I'll give you a view of the mountains. The 1954 earthquake in Churchill County's epicenter was right here. So you look over there in the sunlit area, looks like a tear in the ground. That was a 6-foot separation called a slip fault. So the side of the valley that we're standing on dropped 6 feet in 1954. So we'll give you a view out there in the distance, but not for very long because I'm sure the glare sucks. So one more shot that way. this indescript kind of area that we've come across on our trail ride is known as the Branch Canyon Placers. So what somebody did a long time ago is they came in here and they started digging. And digging and prospecting, and it must have been pretty fruitful because they did one heck of a pit. And I was going to try to show all of you the piece of stratifying equipment that was up at the top of this, but I'll have to do that in another shot. So this is where they were taking dirt, and I can't see much of the ground for the cheatgrass, but a lot of work went into this. So I'll extend the view up a little bit. And we'll take a walk down through here. So this was their scraper. So they'd scrape up in a mound. They must have had to have some way of loading it, classifying it, and panning it. So 1970s vintage, 73 and up truck bed buried in the ground. I wonder how they were processing that. So that makes the mine newer than I would have thought it was. But we'll take a look back up the cut as Ida heads up that way. Pardon the glare. But you can see they've done a lot of work here. So other remnants of this placer mine. Some trash and stuff laying everywhere. But it's all part of the antiquity of it, I suppose. Deer track. Plastic water jug. That doesn't date too far back. So keep walking with me. another pit here. And some timbers. And right up there where the sun's at, it's a huge tailing pile. So, let me change my vantage points. You can see they moved a lot of material. We'll change vantage points, we'll be right back. So there's where we just came from. There's a look back down that placer operation. Didn't find any bedrock, so they were harvesting this out of the alluvial fan coming down from this canyon. And then I mentioned earlier something that they had built up here. Probably not laying in the right position. It's rusty enough to have been maybe a furnace. There's a classifier screen right there. So who knows? If you have any ideas what it might have been, put it in the comments. Be interesting to hear what everybody thinks. But there's a view of that box scraper down there. Looks like they got done at the end of one day and never came back. So there you go. Give you a shot of Fairview Peak in the background. Just a few feet shy of 10,000 feet tall. So that's our last stop for today. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, smash that thumbs up button. And if you haven't already done it, subscribe. We really appreciate it. And until next time, remember, no matter where you go, there you are. Thanks for watching.